Hey there, everyone. My name is Sarah Caffee, and I am an Edpuzzle school success manager. We're going to spend some time together as we look through all of Edpuzzle's tools. I want to just share a little bit about myself and the background that I bring to this work so that as we go through our tutorials together, you can kind of see the context in which I am bringing to Edpuzzle. So a little bit about me. I began my career teaching ninth grade special education in Mesa, Arizona about 15 years ago. I then moved to a smaller school and I started teaching fifth grade ELA and social studies in Phoenix. From there, I made the trip to Washington, D.C., and I began teaching ninth grade history in Washington, D.C., and then middle school ELA. I have 15 years of education experience. And throughout my career, my instructional level of my students varied. I found this old tracker that I had from when I was teaching ninth grade special education in Mesa. And you'll look at my class of students that I had. I had students on a first grade level all the way up to a seventh grade level. And meeting all of these students' needs in one classroom with just one teacher was a challenge. So throughout my career, I would try different tools. I would spend hours typing reading passages at different levels. I would put students in small groups and try to figure out what my students who were not working with me were doing. And then in around 2018, I discovered Edpuzzle. This is our old logo because this is what it looked like when I discovered it. At that time, Edpuzzle had videos. And I started using videos to provide differentiated instruction for my students and to free myself up so that my students could be working on something really productive while I was working with small groups and meeting students' individual needs. I used Edpuzzle for about 4 years in the classroom. It was my favorite tool. And what I bring to this work is a belief that Edpuzzle can be used as such a valuable tool to meet all of your students' needs while saving yourself time as a teacher to differentiate. So when we started as a platform, we focused on videos. However, Edpuzzle is so much more than just videos now. We have our beloved videos. We've added interactive slides. We've added interactive student projects where students can record themselves. We've added quizzes and we've added docs. I like to think of this as my husband, when he cooks, he uses only a steak knife to cut everything, whether it's a tomato, piece of bread, Brussels sprouts, or an onion. He's just using his steak knife. This used to be Edpuzzle. We just had videos. However, now we have this large set of different knives that have different purposes. Throughout this tutorial and throughout this playlist, I'm going to introduce you to each of our tools. And with our tools, I'm going to talk about what are the best use cases for the tool, how might you adapt the tool to fit your students' needs, and what are some of those best practices as you use the tool. We're going to also talk about how to build with the tool, and I'm going to give you some low-tech non-screen options for your students as to how you might use the tool in the classroom to collaborate. I'm really excited to walk you through each of our tools and to engage with you. My hope is that what you'll see with each of our tools is that chunking is core to each of these. Students will engage with information and then they'll be asked to consolidate their thinking and really think about what they learned, show their understanding. They'll learn some more information, they'll chunk, they'll process, they'll respond. And so core to each of our tools is this. My hope is that by the end of this training, you're going to feel really confident about each of our tools, the best ways to use the tools, and to really have some strategies that you can bring into your classroom. So let's dive in.